Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on the Creative Retreat channel. Today I'm working on the first entry of Fully Known for Me for the April Faith Art Box by Creative Retreat. And I am journaling here in 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7. And I am using a medium that I have not used for a while. I was organizing my craft room and I found these gems. I used to be really big on gelatos, and so I have a bunch that I love, and I picked some colors that match beautifully with this kit. I have the mint metallic, which is part of their iridescent line. I also have another color aqua dulce, and I'm going to be using the raisin metallic or metallic grape as well. And so here what I did was I grabbed some of the washi tape that came with the kit, and I put that over the verse that I am journaling in. And I am using a contour brush, some packaging, and a mix of these colors and adding this onto my page. I have it on super fast forward because this is just me scribbling some of that gelato onto that packaging, using the contour brush to add that in different places. And I'm leaving some spots open because I wanted to add some of that purple in there. So you'll see how first I used a blend of that aqua dulce and also that mint metallic. And now I'm using the metallic grape in between the colors, or in between the spaces where the other mint color isn't. And this is one, I've done this technique before in my Bible, and I love, this is a great way to add some color onto the page. I love gelatos because you can use them with water, you can use them dry, and also this makes a beautiful background and it doesn't cover up the text. And so this is a great medium for those of you that don't like covering up the text in your art Bible. So here I'm all done with my background, and I'm going to start stamping the beautiful stamp set that came, or not came with the kit, but coordinates with the kit. You could pick up as an add-on. I will link that below. I love this wonky font. It's so whimsical. I love that it's a bold font, but it also it's a little bit of an outline, and I'm going to be using that to create a title here in my page. In the devotional, Haley just points out of all the ways that we kind of hide ourselves, or we tend to hide ourselves from God, but how God has created us, how God knows us, how God accepts all of the dirty laundry that we have in our lives, and He knows us and He loves us. And when I read the suggested reading of 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, it really hit home for me because recently I had a conversation with a girlfriend about imposter syndrome and how it's creeping up on me days before my very important ministry days. And this reminded me that God is not looking at the outward appearance as man does, but He is looking at the heart. And so when you compare Saul, who is named handsome and tall, and he was chosen as the king first, and now we're looking at Samuel choosing the next king, which is going to be David, he looks onto David's brother and he says, surely this has to be who God is going to anoint. But then the Lord says to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. It reminds me that even in this messy combination of who I am as a human being, right? God still sees the whole picture of who I was, who I am, and who I will be, and still He chose me. So when imposter syndrome wants to creep up on me, I can hold on to this and I can remember that God chose me just as He chose David, who was the youngest of his brothers, who was just a shepherd boy, who may not have been seen as the greatest or as the tallest of his brothers, but God saw his heart, and God sees my heart and chooses me just as He did with David. Here on screen, you see me. I am currently changing some of the purple alphas that I chose. I wanted to add a little bit more yellow here because I like to work in threes, and not just in threes of the design process, but also in colors of my design. So adding a little bit more yellow I thought was going to really make this page pop, and it really does. I also use some of the cardstock stickers, some of those florals that have some of the yellow. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to layer some of it behind the a messy combination word Fetty. And then I'm going to cut off the excess and I'll use it in another place here on my Bible. That way I have those three florals across my page. Now I'm going to take off the washi that I used to mask verse 7, which is the verse I want to focus on. And then I'm going to grab my journaling pen and underline that verse just so it pops off a little bit. This is a great way for you to use the washi that comes with the kit, and also a great technique for those of you that don't want to cover up the verse but want to use a little bit more media. This is a great way to just mask it. So I used some more of that washi towards the top under the tab from the cardstock sticker, and then I'm going to use that piece that I cut off from the floral. And I'm going to add some of that washi on the back of the tab as well. Since it is a sticker, it's sticky on the back and I don't want that to stick to my other pages. So I'll use some washi there. And lastly, I want to add a little bit more yellow, but first I want to make sure that I add the date to my page. When God speaks so clearly through his word and through the devotional, I love to make sure that I have that date stamp, because when I'm looking back and flipping through my Bible, I can see what God spoke in what season and what year. So that's really important to me. So I'm going to grab one of the labels from the Faith-Filled Digitals, add that to the bottom of my page. I'm going to add my date stamp on top of that label, and then I'll add that yellow wonky heart. That way I can add a little bit more yellow to my page. Lastly, I'm going to add a bow clip at the top of my page, and that just finishes off my page. If you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing to the Creative Retreat channel. I am so thankful that you guys joined me here today. Make sure you check out some of the other ladies and their projects throughout the month. I'm going to link everything below. Thank you so much for joining me each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.